All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's BallTalk SportShow, Episode 5. We got another special edition here. No special guest today, just me and Nick going in. So I'm going to bring Nick in. How we doing, bud?
Doing well. Excited to talk a little sports with y'all today. It's going to be a good time, to say the least.
To say the least. We got a lot of fun topics today, a lot of crazy stuff happened over the weekend, as always. The Monday episode is going to be a lot of review of just what happened over the weekend. We're going to start out with some news. UFC, big card this weekend. NFL, NCAA football, Premier League, Champions League, NCAA basketball to round it all out.
Yeah.
It's a jam-packed one, man.
Yeah, I'm excited about NCAA basketball starting back up.
Finally.
Obviously, we've been watching some NBA. But yeah, there's,
I've been losing money on the NBA.
Yeah. In my opinion, there's nothing like college basketball. I love it.
Yep, the passion is a whole nother level.
Right.
But anyway, so let's get on into the juicy stuff. It's time to get to the real news, the stuff that's hitting the beats on the streets.
Right.
First things first, the Brissett injury, sprained his MCL. They haven't made a designation for this week. I'm going to assume they're not going to play him against the Dolphins. Brian Hoyer could probably get that done. So maybe we'll see him in a couple weeks. It doesn't seem too bad. We'll have him back, and I think we're still looking decent for the playoffs, especially if we get a nice win against the Dolphins. Cruise on in.
Right. Yeah, this is a rough injury for the Colts. Just terrible luck. No pun intended.
Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, no, losing Jacoby like this. I mean, that game should have been won yesterday. I think if not for the fact that you guys had to play Hoyer.
Yeah, I mean that Hoyer did fine. I think our defense, after we got a touchdown to go up in the fourth quarter, our defense still didn't get to stop either.
Right.
So honestly, there's a lot of different reasons why we lost the game. I mean, the Steelers shouldn't score 26 on us.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think overall we didn't have a great game. Obviously, a lot of criticism towards Vinatieri. He's looked very shaky in at least 3 to 4 games now for the Colts, and it's, other teams have been picking up kickers. Patriots and another team had to pick one up. Find somebody out there. Maybe that could be a little more consistent, I think.
Yeah, that last one, I know everyone's saying it's not his fault. The laces were in. And I mean,
but what about the PAT?
Right, yeah. Saying we give him that one, that we'll chalk it up, not his fault. There were plenty of kicks this season.
Yeah.
I can't even name them all. Can't even think of them all. But there have probably been 10 occasions already where it seems like, I mean, I think
it's a bad miss.
I think he has 5 or 6 missed PATs this year.
Right. And PATs, even though they moved him back a little bit, still aren't that hard.
It's a chip shot, yeah.
There are kickers out there that are cashing them every time.
That are perfect right now.
15 out of 16, 17 out of 17. You know what I'm saying? Some guys are really good with it,
Right.
Anyways, we're going to move on from that. We're going to talk about some more injuries, sadly. Andre Gomez was injured in that Tottenham game, Everton player. Fractured/dislocated ankle. He's going to be out. He got surgery. They didn't give a timetable yet. A similar injury was given 9 months. So he's looking at a long time out, man. That's rough for Everton, who's already having a rough start to the season.
Yeah, very, very sad for Gomez. Quality player. And I know that Son gets a red card there. I don't think he deserved it. It actually, he might have made him trip a little bit, but he wasn't the actual contact. Serge Aurier came in late and hit him, and that's actually what caused the injury. Pretty gruesome one. I'm sure you can find a video if you guys want to watch that, but
you don't.
Yeah, you don't. It was pretty gruesome. Yeah, he'll be out a while.
I heard the surgery went really well, so that's good news. And, some teams can bounce back from an injury like this to one of their guys, really rally together and, make a push and act like, losing somebody that good isn't going to affect them. We'll see because, like I said, they haven't been spectacular anyways, so it's hard for me to think that they're going to turn this around and make like a top 6 run in the Premier League.
No. They're looking
I'm definitely going to keep an eye on them, and there's still some players there that I like, so we'll see how they go moving forward.
At this point in the season, Everton's really just looking to stay up. I think they're in like 17th right now.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're doing terribly.
Yeah, so
they need to put some wins together because when they're getting leads on teams, they're giving it up a little bit and getting out with some ties that I don't think that they should really, stuff like that.
And obviously, like, this weekend they get that late one. I think it was in, like, the 97th minute. So, I mean,
it's a lot of stoppage.
like you said, Everton has talent. I mean, they can always turn it around. Good players can find their groove, but, it hasn't looked good so far.
All right, well, let's move on. OBJ and Landry wore
cleats.
some cleats that were not league approved, although I was a big fan of OBJ's Joker cleats. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of absurd from the NFL as a whole to really care about this stuff.
Yeah, I see it as maybe like he's promoting the movie that's out.
Right,
without their permission or paying, kind of thing. They want a piece of any sort of, endorsement kind of thing if they're playing on their field. But, I mean, dude, I think the more flashy they're allowed to be, the more fun people are going to have with the game. And especially
they call it the no fun league for a reason.
Yeah, before when there was more celebrations, I mean, that was a lot more fun, especially like big guys getting a fumble, you know what I'm saying, getting in the end zone, and they're doing some dances. Come on, man. Let them do them.
Yeah.
Let them wear chains and all of that.
Right.
Let them do it all. The gloves. You know how colleges have sick gloves? I don't see anybody in the NFL having super sick gloves.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all regulated.
Right.
And just like... they don't let you get away with much, and I don't really see the reason behind it. It's not like you can. It's not like I noticed that watching the game. I didn't have any idea what cleats he had on in the first half.
It's more of a Twitter, Instagram thing.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And like it's kind of absurd, in my opinion, but. It's the NFL. They're probably not going to change that rule anytime soon.
Right. Anyways, we got more NFL news. A couple more things. Cam Newton doesn't need surgery. I don't know how it took this long to figure that out. But, they're still going with Kyle Allen for this week. We'll see. I mean, the team, other than that game against the 49ers, the Panthers have looked really good. So I don't know if they would stick with Kyle Allen either way. At this point, to me, it's a pretty close call. Cam Newton is a guy that obviously has been successful and can be successful, but he breaks down easily nowadays, it seems like, and a lot of quarterbacks that played like he used to play break down easily, and especially how big he is, it's probably tough to keep that whole body going. So if the Panthers are still on a roll when Cam's ready to come back, I think I'd still think about keeping Kyle Allen.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on where Cam's at. If you think Cam Newton's at 100%, I think you play him no matter what. Just because, in my opinion, he's a special talent.
And especially playoffs, because he went to the Super Bowl. He's got playoff caliber abilities.
Right. But it just depends on if he's not all the way healthy. I understand the argument. Kyle Allen has been successful. Other than, I think that is his only loss. I could be wrong, but
I believe
Niners game, he was like 4-0 before that. So, he's been successful, but I mean, it's not. I don't know. If they do end up making the playoffs, which is going to be incredibly hard coming out of the NFC, I don't think personally the Panthers are going to be able to.
The NFC is really tough.
Yeah.
They're not winning their division because I believe they're with the Saints.
Saints, yeah.
So, yeah. But I'm not ruling them out just yet.
No. I agree.
Because they're still at like 6 wins maybe.
Yeah, I think they're 6-4.
It's only 9 weeks. They got 3 losses. 2 or 3 losses. Yeah, they're probably 6-3. Something like that. Anyways, we're going to move on. Next topic, Josh Gordon to the Seahawks. Plans to play this week. Did the Patriots mess up leaving him out and letting him go to wherever he wanted?
I don't know. Maybe they tried to just dump his contract or whatever, see if someone would pick him up to make room for Sanu or whatever.
Right. Obviously, the Sanu pickup is big for them,
right?
As far as feeling like they don't need him.
But I will agree, like they didn't really get anything out of Josh Gordon. Not that he has much trade value. Seems like he never actually plays. But if he does play, and when he does play, he's very, very good. So I think the Seahawks, got a steal, especially considering he's about to play this week. Probably the rest of the season. They already have weapons there. They added, a guy who has made Pro Bowls. Other than the fact that the league hates marijuana, probably would have had a lot more time in the league than he did, but failed a lot of drug tests, whatever. He's
We're still rooting for you, Josh Gordon.
Right,
Hopefully,
yeah.
I think the Seahawks are on a pretty good path this year, and he's definitely a tool that they can use as long as he stays in the game. Obviously, that's always an issue. But if, he could have some special moments if they make the playoffs and, Russell really figures out how to use him because they've figured it out with Lockett and Metcalf right now. They're both doing pretty well, and it seems like whatever tight end you slot in with Russell Wilson too, he's going to find ways to get open too. So anyways, I think that's going to wrap it up for the news segment. We're going to move right on into UFC 244. Big fight card. Obviously the main card was nothing but bangers, and then the final fight, the bad motherfuckers, Diaz Masvidal. It was a good fight. Both guys were getting licks in. Obviously, I think Jorge was dominant through most of it.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and break that fight down now?
Yeah, let's go ahead and just knock out the main event real quick. And then I'm going to just highlight some other things throughout the card that I liked.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty obvious. Masvidal kind of controlled this matchup from the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked...
And he came out with the flying knee.
He was a beast. Yeah. He faked the flying knee. Yeah, he really won me over.
He's an entertaining fighter, and he's an elite fighter at 170. He's not just entertaining. Obviously, this was like a fake title, but he's ready for the real title. He's won over some pretty good talent lately, and is right there after this Colby and Kamaru fight. I think he's one of the most deserving for that next shot. So hopefully they give it to him. Because he's definitely one of my favorites now, for sure.
Right, yeah. He has so many fans right now. And yeah, me especially, after this fight, I just thought he was, and the Askren knockout, he's the bad motherfucker at this point.
Right.
I thought the stoppage might have been a little weak, but I have heard some things just that, and you saw his eye. It was very, very bad. So yeah. I can't necessarily blame them for that.
If it was me, I'd let it keep going because I saw Tyson Fury's eye in a boxing match just like a month ago, and it was definitely worse because his was even on the eyelid, like seeping on his shit, but they were gooing his ass up with the Vaseline and he was fine.
That's what I said.
Boxing is a little bit different as far as like getting hit in the face because you don't have as much cover with gloves
Right.
heavyweights use compared to UFC. But
And you can get hit with an elbow or
right,
like
exactly. And I've seen, commissions let stuff like this go on, but New York is notorious for being on the safe side. So I'm not surprised, I guess I would say. But
right.
Either way, I think Jorge was winning the fight handedly, and people were saying Diaz would be able to come back, but I didn't see it happen.
Yeah, I mean, he had moments in the fight where he was landing shots, but it never looked like he was actually hurting Masvidal.
Well, every time Nate got any sort of significant combo off, Jorge was right in the clinch. And he was winning that clinch most of the time, getting some pretty nice knees to the body and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I just felt like he controlled the fight. And Nate's normally one of those people who's always coming forward, controlling the pressure. And I really think Jorge did a good job at doing making it even almost. Really making Nate sit there and respect his timing and space. So it was a great fight. I had a great time watching him.
I owed a buddy a drink, actually. I thought Diaz was going to pull it off. Maybe not even. I was more just rooting for him.
It's not the worst bet. At least you're drinking.
Right.
All right, I'm going to go through a couple more of the fights. Obviously, this main card was super stacked. The co-main was Darren Till, Kelvin Gastelum. I remember you were saying it wasn't the most exciting fight, but Darren Till moving up a weight class, beating somebody like Kelvin is pretty big. I don't think he's necessarily ready for that title shot, but one more fight against somebody like Yoel or Whitaker, and I think he's right there. This is a weight class that I think almost everybody assumed he should have just been there in the first place. The guy's giant. He was definitely bigger than Kelvin, and Kelvin had a really hard time getting through his reach. Big win for Darren. Kelvin will be fine, but after 2 losses in a row, he's going to have to really get back on the horse. But he's young, I think 27. So
okay, yeah. I think he'll be back. He's a good fighter.
For sure. All right, so Wonder Boy was the next fight. He really showed out his class, his striking prowess, if you will. Really pieced up Luque. Luque was beat to hell, but he's one of the toughest guys. We had a bunch of tough guys on this card because the next fight was Derek Lewis and Blagoy, and Derek Lewis would have knocked out almost any other heavyweight with the shots he landed on Blagoy, but that guy is tougher than nails. It was a crazy fight, super fun, man. This card delivered, except for that co-main, I would say. I
was actually really mad that I didn't get to watch Derek Lewis fight, and I'll have to watch the replay of it, find it.
It was a decision, man. It was a 3-round banger.
Yeah, because I love him, and he looked. I mean, you guys probably saw the pictures online if you follow it of him just looking thin. Thinner than he's ever looked.
Was in way better cardio shape. They did a lot of grappling, and he was able to get up off of his back. He was in a submission attempt for almost a minute and got out of it, got up to his feet, and was still throwing after. And I think won a majority of the fight. I don't know if it was a 30-27, maybe 29-28. Really, whenever there was
unanimous,
whenever there was an exchange on the feet and somebody was hurt, it was Blagoy and not Derek. Derek was not really in trouble too much on the feet, I don't think, and it was a good win for him, man. He's still up there in the top 10, man. This heavyweight division is something interesting for sure.
Yeah, he's got crazy power.
Yeah, for Blagoy to walk through some of those shots is impressive. People who couldn't walk through shots, Gregor Gillespie got knocked out in the first round halfway through. It was spectacular. I don't know if you saw any of the replays on Twitter, man. I'll show you after this, but it was actually insane. Kevin Lee hits this guy with a right hook, sets him up for the left high kick, boom, knocks him out, and this dude just hits like a tombstone type, falls backwards, straight asleep on the cage. Just straight night. It was wonderful, man. Gregor Gillespie up until this point was undefeated, and it was a little bit of a hype train. People thought he's gonna get to the belt at least before he's defeated. But obviously Kevin Lee's a very well respected fighter. Just got a new coach in Firas Sahabi, who was George St. Pierre's coach.
Okay.
And still is, I guess. But yeah, he's been working with them, and his striking looks a lot crisper. He was throwing with a lot more power, I thought, and he just looked good overall.
Yeah, that's a big win.
Yep.
Knockout.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure he got a performance bonus for knockout of the night or performance of the night, whatever you want to call it. Going down the prelims, there were some decent ones. I didn't get to watch all of them, but I did get to see Corey Anderson knocked out Johnny Walker. Straight pieced him on the feet. Johnny was looking a little too cocky, and he got clipped quite a few times, and Corey Anderson finished the business. I think Johnny might have been contesting the stoppage, but he was not defending himself much at all. And Corey Anderson, that's a signature win for him. He's been dying for a win like this to deserve the title shot. Everybody says he's a boring fighter because he likes to wrestle and grapple, but, I mean, the guy's from a wrestling background, did it in college, so for him to get a win like this, it really shows him, like, look, I can do these kind of things and give you that fun title fight you want to see with John Jones. Just give it to me, let's go, kind of thing, and I'm happy for him.
Yeah, that would be very interesting. I was big on Johnny Walker. I just love the way he fought, but obviously, he's never looked like much of the fundamentals kind of guy. So I'm not surprised to see he got a little cocky and knocked out. But yeah, like you said, good for Corey Anderson.
Yep. One last thing. This guy named Jairzinho Rosenstrike is 9-0 at heavyweight, knocked out Andrei Arlovsky this weekend. And this dude knocks people out without even looking like he should be able to.
29 seconds?
Yes. He was literally like backing up, left hooked him, and he knocked him down. And then boom, like one. Literally, if this dude hits one ground and pound shot on you, you're done. Like, this dude's just insane. So definitely look at him as a heavyweight coming up. A Derek Lewis type power, Francis Ngannou type power that really is going to be shedding some lights off, and it's going to be exciting for sure. I cannot wait. Those are some of the most exciting fighters to me. But we got to move on. We've talked a lot about the UFC. We got to get into this NFL slate. A lot of shocking losses in the NFL this week. Patriots took their first loss to the Ravens. The Ravens really showed dominance and took them out 37-20.
Yeah, I love to see it. We actually didn't really get to watch this game last night. We had a big indoor soccer league. Our debut games were last night.
Doubleheader last night.
Yeah, doubleheader.
9 and 10 p.m. They had to do it to us.
Right. Some guys who really don't run much. And by that I mean at all.
We're hurting right now.
Yeah. This podcast is. I'm enduring some pain while doing this. My legs are incredibly sore.
We went through, a personal beating to our bodies to come out with no victories.
Yeah, it was very rough.
But we have one shining star, and that is the man sitting next to me. He crushed a hat trick in the second game. Let's give him a hand, folks.
I appreciate that.
We lost still, but a hat trick, and one of the goals was a nice little chipper, man.
Probably my best goal I've ever scored, but honestly an accident. It was beautiful.
It was meant to be a pass, but it worked out. The keeper was not ready. All right, but anyways, let's get into this NFL. Patriots first loss to the Ravens. That's definitely a big win for the Ravens. I don't think it means a whole lot for the Patriots. They've got their division
37 points,
racked up. They're just trying to look for seeding in the playoffs. I'm sure they're going to, get home field advantage for most of it, I would assume.
This was definitely a telling game, though.
For sure. I think the main problem with the Patriots is their offense. The Ravens wouldn't have scored 37 if the offense was moving the ball better and had a better running game. I don't think the Patriots this whole year have had a running game that really stands out to me at all. Sony Michel, I think, is a decent back, but I don't.
James White.
I think there might actually be a little bit of trouble on their offensive line, where Thomas normally had a good line.
I feel like they almost rely on the pass game, They use their running backs more in the pass game than the run game.
Right. Exactly. They rely on the passing too much, and they don't have the same kind of athletes out there catching the balls. I think James White is still a good back, but he hasn't gotten the same usage this year, and it seems odd to me. Something just doesn't seem right with their offense, but their defense is still getting it done. So,
and in my mind, Belichick will figure it out. Brady will figure it out, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's still plenty of season for that to get worked out, and obviously they brought in Sanu, and he'll still get more and more used to playing there. So it's not panic mode at all for the Patriots, but I do think that their
offensive line
needs a little bit of changing.
Agreed.
Packers also took a loss, man, to the
Chargers.
Shocking one.
A shocking
of all
one.
People, the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of bettors were very unhappy on this. So I think the Packers were only like -3 or something.
Yeah,
and in my mind, that's
a lock.
That's an enticing.
It's a lock.
That's an enticing line, considering the Chargers really don't have fans.
They always choke.
Yeah, they don't have fans.
Yeah, the Packers fans were way deeper in there.
Oh, absolutely. And it seems like that every week. Like, the opposing fans in that stadium, and Packers fans, I mean, they're crazy. They'll travel wherever. And they probably, they're such a big franchise that they probably have fans there already.
Yep.
Plenty of them. So, that was definitely the shocker of the weekend.
You got another shocking one, though, Nick. The Dolphins actually got a win.
Right. Not as shocking because it was the Jets who...
Right. It was bound to happen. Their division is not good. Man. They had to be somebody eventually.
Yeah.
The Jets obviously have just really crumbled since this whole mono thing came up with Sam Darnold. I thought they actually looked decent at the very start of the season, but something is a little weird there, and they started talking about some trades, and that never helps.
Right.
If a trade doesn't go through, and you just talked about getting rid of your best player, So that
Absolutely.
Still though, it's weird to me that the Dolphins don't just go full tank mode. I don't know if they just want to sell it a little bit or something.
In my mind,
there's still players there that want to win. I understand that, but
it's hard to convince a guy who's been in the league 10 years or whatever to not try hard or whatnot. And I'm sure they have to be going for a win every week.
Right.
They're just not good.
They're just not getting them because they suck.
Right. But this week, the Jets sucked more. Somehow squeaked out a win. The mystery of the season is they beat the Cowboys pretty handedly.
Right.
Week 5 or something.
Not against Darnold, right?
I don't even know.
Pretty sure.
Right, yeah. Darnold might not even be
the backup.
Right.
But anyways, another shocking loss. The Colts lost to the Steelers. Obviously, it's at Pittsburgh. It's always a tough environment, especially kicking field goals, which became the narrative at the end of the game because Vinatieri missed a potential game winner, but. It just wasn't a good game overall for the Colts. Obviously, our defense shouldn't be giving up that many points to them.
Right.
But still, it's a hurtful loss. That's one of the ones we really needed to solidify our place in the top of the division, especially with the Dolphins coming up next week. We could have had, however many in a row. We were on a decent streak there.
Yeah.
But maybe this will light even more fire in us and really,
this
make that an easy win next week. Hopefully.
Yeah. This could be a season changing loss in a way. If you look at it that way of motivation.
Yeah, exactly.
And I also think that maybe we kind of called the Steelers bad too quick.
Well, and they made that trade, and Fitzpatrick's been really good since he's been back there. So
right. Yeah.
They might be better than we think.
And they still have Juju. They still have James Conner.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is never awful.
The quarterback is probably starting to get a little bit more, used to playing with them and everything.
Absolutely.
Chemistry's getting there. I definitely don't think they're a bad team.
No.
But it's
the
not
Colts should beat them, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not like it's a game the Colts shouldn't have won.
Right.
We obviously could have, but didn't come out on top. Also, the Browns took a loss. They're 2-6 now, man. I think it's time to just wrap their season. It's shocking that there's more headlines about them and their attire than them in winning games.
Yeah, that is the other thing.
All the distractions.
That I will say about OBJ, yeah.
Well, then Baker's out here making controversial press moves and always making some.
That's Baker. I think he will do that as long as he's in the league. People will still cover him. Even with the Browns 2-6, we're still going to hear about them all the time on ESPN, all the time on Twitter. It's funny.
How much
they just
longer
have
do we
stars.
see Baker in the league, though? If this
You don't
is the
believe
kind of
in
Browns
him at
we
all?
get with this, they have Nick Chubb, OBJ, Jarvis Landry. We know
Right.
these guys are good players.
I hope
We
that
know.
it's Freddie Kitchens and not Baker, because I think Baker's really
I
entertaining.
think a lot of people think that way, and I don't think I'm not saying myself I think that Baker's bad, but if we continue to see these results, especially if we give him, you could chalk the season, it's fine. Next year, if he and a new coach maybe still suck, maybe he's part of the problem.
Right. I would agree. And I haven't seen much from Baker this year.
I've seen a lot of their games, and it seems like the offensive line is more of the issue to me. It seems like he's running around way too much, trying to make plays because the line's not giving him a whole lot of time.
Right.
And it's never fun getting sacked a lot.
And I feel like that's a lot of teams' issues this year. It's just offensive line play.
Yeah.
So if they could clean that up, but I do agree.
I
think
still
it's over
think
for
it's
them.
I still think it's a wrap on them making the playoffs
Or
and all for the season.
their season's
But they can
kinda
still
over.
they can still have a respectable season. Just I don't know what the biggest issue there is, because it just seems like there's not a lot of players there that know how to make plays to win.
Or something,
somebody's got to go big,
yeah.
and obviously a quarterback's really important in that, and it doesn't seem to happen.
Yeah, it seems like they have a lot of good players, and they should be good. Yeah. But
Yeah. Anyways, we'll go to the big winners for this week. Niners are remaining undefeated. Seahawks get a squeaker of an OT win. Russell Wilson is my MVP right now through
He's
the
been
first
incredible.
9 weeks here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been incredible.
He can do it all. Obviously he's not necessarily Lamar Jackson as far as the running aspect,
No.
but he's very good at making his own pocket, getting out of the pocket,
Right.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And making those kind of plays. And obviously they had a really nice drive in the OT, sealed the dub easy. And really they look like, with the Packers losing, they look like one of the top 3 NFC teams for me. Obviously the Niners and Saints to me are the top 2. But right after that, it's got to be the Seahawks, Packers, that kind of discussion.
Yeah, and I would take Seahawks over Packers right now.
After you lose to the Chargers, we got to answer some questions here.
Their offense only had 65 yards at halftime.
Right.
Yeah,
The Packers
so-
beat a Mahomes-less Chiefs. I'm starting to
I'm
question
not
some
sold.
of their wins. They were at 7-1. Now they're 7-2. But they do
But
have
I'm sold on the
have a
Seahawks.
tough division. Kind of. I don't know how. Honestly, the division looked better to start out the year, and now it's looking a little less good with the Bears. I don't have faith in them at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The Packers to me need to get a big win to really
Yeah, I think the
remain
Vikings are good in that
at the top.
in that division, but
Right. But anyways, I think that's going to do it for the NFL review. We're going to give you a preview here. Tonight we got Dallas Cowboys at New York Giants. What are your thoughts for tonight?
I need Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott to outscore Saquon Barkley by 3 points.
That's easy.
That's all I need.
That's easy. I think that's happening.
Yeah, as far as the actual game, that's
I
my
need
fantasy
Zeke.
football needs.
I need Zeke and Amari Cooper to drop like 80.
Oh,
So
you're good.
That might happen.
Yeah, but as
Just
far as
20 catches apiece, we'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see.
But
We'll
anyways,
see
as
about
far
that
as the game breakdown, what do you got?
one. Cowboys by a little.
It's going to be close.
Yeah, I don't believe in the Cowboys, especially on the road. I think they struggle in this game.
I think the opposite.
Yeah, you think they're going to go in there and...
I think because of the loss to the Giants, or not the Giants, the Jets prior, right, that we just talked about.
Yeah. And they're coming off that Eagles loss at home. Was that just last week?
Was it? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wait, no.
That might have been 2 weeks ago.
The Eagles played the Bills last week.
They might be coming off a bye damn near.
I think that, yeah. The Cowboys are coming off the bye.
Okay. But their last game is a loss. They have
right. Okay,
I can see
now
that
it's time for them to really make a statement, especially against a New York team.
Who's bad.
Right. Who's bad, exactly. Daniel Jones. You're going to let Daniel Jones go off against you? I don't really see Saquon's obviously a really great player, and they have a decent defense. But I just don't see them slowing down the offense for very long. So I want to say it's like at least a 10-point win.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I just think the Cowboys are actually a joke always. But that's just my opinion.
They're certainly always
overrated.
Don't
know. Yeah, I just don't know. But I do need Dak and Zeke, so hopefully you're right, not me.
We both need Zach to just...
Or either way, points.
Zach. I just called him Zach Elliott. Jesus Christ.
Sweet life of Zach and Cody.
You know what? He's going to drop 2 points tonight because of that, and they're going to lose. Anyways, I think we're done with the NFL. We're going to move on to the NCAA football. We had a decent weekend. Purdue got a win finally for us. They're not completely out of the bowl race.
Yeah, although we do have Wisconsin.
We still have to play Wisconsin, but we are 3-6, 3 games left, right?
Right, exactly. We got Northwestern, and then we go Wisconsin, IU.
Ooh, and IU's not looked bad either. So we've got
IU's
2 tough games left
to
really,
But that's at home. There. We can still beat IU,
Yeah.
That's
as far as the Purdue win over the weekend, we started out really badly. They got a touchdown on their first drive, and then we gave up the ball on our 10-yard line because we're stupid.
But then the defense got to stop.
In this game, our defense, I think, got 3 or 4 stops within the 10-yard line to only give them up field goals. So, really, it came down to the defense making those big stops for us to win this game, I think.
I really think so, too. I thought the defense played it, incredibly.
Yeah.
And part of that is the fact that Nebraska Martinez, I forget his first name.
Blake
Martinez, sure. I just forget it right now.
I'm pretty sure, because I was watching.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Either way, the quarterback is just inaccurate, and he I remember at least a few times they could have had touchdowns where it was just he overthrew him, or a pick where he actually just threw it right to our guy, and I was like, oh, okay, awesome. That guy was bad. He helped our defense out, but our defense did play really, really, really well.
Especially our defensive line, I thought made some. They were. It wasn't like they were just brute forcing it. I felt like there were some times where we really just kind of out-coached them on the defense and really got free to the quarterback. And there was one play where Karlaftis had a free shot at the quarterback and didn't get him down. And I was
and I'm pretty sure he scrambled for a first down.
Yeah, exactly,
something.
But, really there were some nice coaching moves, and I think that we're starting to figure out how to shore up our weaknesses a little bit. And I think we're looking decent, but these are really tough games coming up. So hopefully we can win all 3 and get to the bowl. We'll see. I don't know.
One upset.
I'm nervous for sure.
One upset, and Illinois already beat them this year.
Right.
So I'm feeling like that could be a game that, we almost beat Iowa at Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm obviously not saying we're winning that game because Jonathan Taylor will probably just have 300 yards rushing on us. But,
Jesus. I don't want to think about it.
Yeah. We're not there yet.
Anyways, we're gonna review the rest of the football schedule from the NCAA this weekend. We had a big one between Florida and Georgia. Georgia just able to win it, I think, by a touchdown. It was pretty close.
Yeah.
I think it was
It was a good game.
Yeah, it was definitely a good game, but I think it was a little bit more of just Georgia controlling the game, really getting what they needed when they needed it.
They were up a touchdown pretty much the whole time.
Right. Yeah. They kind of just cruised it from – I think they got out to a 10-0 lead maybe.
Right.
And they just kind of held on, but – it was still a good game, and
that was kind of like
Florida gave them a good fight, I'll say.
That was almost the only good game of the weekend, I think. Maybe the only match or ranked matchup other than the SMU Memphis game, which I was about to talk about. But yeah, this was kind of the only game that
it was a big one, but it was kind of alone in that kind of caliber.
Yeah,
it really wasn't another caliber.
Right, it kind of
like
was a bad weekend for college football.
Yeah, a little bit lackluster, but like you said, SMU Memphis played. SMU came in undefeated, took their first loss.
We kind of said
it was a crazy high scoring game. I think we also called bang the over. They scored like 100 and something points between the two of them.
Yeah.
So, also Appalachian State that we talked about was also undefeated coming into this weekend and also lost.
Right.
And I think we were also saying that, this is a big game for Appalachian State and they needed to win, and obviously wasn't able to. They're gonna fall out of the top 25, I would assume, right?
Yeah, I would assume so. Georgia State's not good, so
that's sad.
Yeah, but
we were kind of hoping for something to happen there.
2 undefeated teams fall.
I don't think it's the end of the world for SMU. They're still going to be in the top 25, I would assume. Because they lost to Memphis, who was also ranked. They're on the lower side. I think SMU was about 15, so they'll stick in there. But definitely Memphis, those are some
Memphis
of the keys for this weekend for me.
And just looking ahead to the 2020 schedule, Purdue actually plays Memphis next year, so
they're going to score 40 on us.
Yeah, I'm a little bit scared about that game.
Yeah. All right, we're going to wrap up the football. American football for this time. Moving to some European football, Nick. This is probably always your favorite part, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like talking the Prim.
Yeah, we had some pretty big stuff happen in the Prim this weekend. Liverpool, Man City, we're both down 1-0 at half, but both found ways to win. I think, was it Man City or Liverpool that got the 94th minute winner?
Yeah, it was Liverpool.
Liverpool, Sadio maybe?
Yeah, Mane.
Yeah, man, he's so good.
Incredible goal, too.
He's so good.
Yeah, and I think both of these games were 1-0, like, into the 75th. I give Liverpool a little bit more of an excuse because they were playing Villa, who I think is decent. But Man City's playing Southampton, who I'm guessing a lot of people kind of thought that Man City could have scored like 6 or 7 in this game.
Right.
Like,
it was just that's something the kind of was just a little bit off when it came down to finishing. Right. But they still looked a better team the whole time. Oh,
yeah. And you knew that. But, yeah,
the fact that they let up a goal. Yeah, the fact that they just let up that goal was just like, really shook them off a little, what I'm saying?
Yeah, you knew at that point that Southampton was literally just going to sit in their box.
Mm-hmm. But Man City, they're going to find a way, man. That's what these good teams do. There's a reason why these guys are at the top of the table. We also had another top-of-the-table team playing, Leicester. They look,
they're good.
They're not far off from their Premier League win. Just a couple years ago.
Right.
I think this is looking like another one where if they stay consistent in Liverpool, Man City,
it could get interesting.
Yeah, they don't, take care of business when they should and give up some points here and there. We could see them sneaking up into the top 2.
Yeah, me and a couple friends were arguing over whether they'll stay in the top 4 this year. And I said definitely.
Yeah, I think top 4, 100% for me. Yeah. I mean, nothing's a guarantee.
Right.
But, I mean, with what they're looking right now,
you're going to have to. Yeah,
they've been more consistent than, Liverpool has been since, obviously at the start of the season, Liverpool came out super hot. But since, and through that whole stretch, I think Leicester was consistent. So, I definitely think they'll be top 4 worthy. if I had to guess, I don't think that they take the top spot.
No.
But I do think that they'll make it interesting.
I think this year Liverpool will get it done.
Yeah,
at least I hope so. I think Man City's
their
second.
offense is just too good. If they have some big injury, which I'm not hoping for whatsoever, I don't ever hope for that, especially on such an exciting team. But that to me is the only way that they're not going to, win this year, because that offense is just so hard to stop, man. It's just they find a way every time.
Yeah, them and Man City, but. I think City's defense is much more questionable than Liverpool's.
When Van Dijk's in that defense for Liverpool,
right.
I think they've got some really good mids to, come in there and help lock things down. Anyways, we'll move on to Wolves and Tottenham. Also got a tie. Wolves obviously were at Arsenal, so that's a really, really big tie for them to come out with a point there.
This was kind of a game where, we had our way, honestly.
It felt like you guys should have scored way more.
Yeah, we missed a few. Like, if you watch this game, the major chances were definitely on Wolves' end. I think we outshot them something like 24-10 overall in the game. So, I mean, a little unlucky to come out with only a point, but also you're happy with a point at the Emirates. I mean, obvious, that's a historically top 4 club in the Premier League. So, I mean, you take what you can get there.
Arsenal obviously hasn't been super good this year, but for a team like Wolves to go in there and get a tie,
they're still in.
That's a good result.
Table or whatnot. So
good result. Tottenham, Everton. Obviously, they had that injury to Gomez. It was a weird game. Everton,
pretty boring.
Everton was, you said, able to get a late one.
Yeah, it was like only 6 shots the whole game or something. It was just like I didn't even watch it. I was actually driving home from Muncie, but just when I was following it seemed like a pretty boring game. Not many shots.
Yeah.
I don't even remember Dele Alli, I think, scored for Tottenham in like the 70th minute, and then 94th minute equalizer or something after you lose that player. I mean, obviously a really good meaningful goal for Everton.
Yeah, hopefully, something like that can help them rebound from that injury and really
just sucks.
Start to string some good results. But it hasn't looked great for them so far. And obviously Tottenham also, for them, looking forward, they've both been a little bit inconsistent. So I want to see where they can end up because, Tottenham historically –
they should be good.
And fairly recently has been pretty good.
Yeah, very good.
I haven't seen them get to their full form, I feel like.
Oh, no, not at all.
So far this season.
And I think they'll figure it out to a certain extent.
Yeah.
They'll finish top 6. I don't know if they'll get back into the top 4, especially with Leicester being so good.
Right.
I think it's really because Leicester, I mean, obviously you got to beat out Chelsea, who's been really good this year, and is right behind them. I think tied in points. It's just goal differential goes to Leicester, but them and Arsenal, and then Spurs.
Yeah.
So it'll be really, really interesting come the end of this season.
Yep.
Who will be top 4? Yeah,
because
obviously those are the coveted Champions League spots.
Exactly. Those are crucial, and it's really gonna come down to it this year. It seems like Liverpool, and maybe Man City are both up there.
Probably locks.
Feel like they don't. Yeah, they don't. Aren't gonna let their spots slip. Let's say, but the next 3 through 6 is
going to
be a
and Tottenham
really,
is like all
really,
the way down in freaking 12th right now. But
it's going to be a dogfight.
I do think that they can come back. Right. And yeah, there's
I
teams,
think for them to get top 6 though would be respectable. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, absolutely.
as far as their
Any
expectations
team,
from here on out, I think if you get top 6, you're pretty happy.
Yeah, for sure.
But obviously you want that top 4, that Champions League level. You want to get to that Champions League, which we're going to talk about right now.
Yeah.
We got a preview. We got Tuesday, Wednesday slate. It's going to be beautiful. We've got Liverpool and Barcelona Tuesday, both of which have some pretty favorable matchups. But
yeah, I think they're both at home.
I'm not actually sure as far as who's home or not for those. But it is against some clubs
game's
that
at Anfield.
Okay, right.
And I'm pretty sure Barcelona's playing Prague at home as well.
Okay. Either way, the teams are both way better than their competition for this
Right.
one. It's obviously still pretty early on in the Champions League. But, it's important in these early group stages to, handle business and make sure you're on form.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Do you think they're playing the full lineups?
Yeah, they will. Most likely, at least, just because any points that you can get relatively easily. I mean, obviously, you could rest a player here or there.
Yeah, I was gonna say we might see him sit maybe some of the top line guys
Right.
for this.
But yeah, they'll have a very
depends.
respectable squad out there.
Because I think I don't know exactly where the groups are setting at the moment, but I'm pretty sure because this is like the second round of home and aways, so maybe they're not as worried about losing the first spot. So we'll see, but we do have some good matchups where I'm certain starting lineups will be going ham. We've got Dortmund versus Inter on Tuesday, along with Chelsea and Ajax.
Yeah, both
Ajax
of those will be really interesting.
Ajax has been looking a lot better.
I mean, they
than
can
what
score.
I expected.
We all know this.
Yeah, we know what they can do. And Chelsea at times has been beatable, but they've been
also
pretty
really good.
They've been really good in the Prem the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I really hope Pulisic will get to play.
Right.
But yeah, like this is definitely the one I'm circling.
Right. I also really like this Dortmund Inter game, man. I think that's going to be
I think that one's going to be an
competitive.
interesting one too. At Dortmund, we obviously this was like the last match day they played, and it was that 2-0 game Inter Milan won. So I think Dortmund will be back with a vengeance, not trying to lose both games to Inter by any means.
Right.
So
I like him in this one for sure.
Yeah, I think this is a really really good rebound game for Dortmund. Hopefully they can get it done.
Yeah, especially if they do, that group's going to be real interesting. I think we've talked about this before. They've probably got the closest one.
Right, it's then Barcelona and then Prague.
Right.
So
yeah, it's going to be really close for that second spot. But anyways, we'll move on to the Wednesday slate. We've got Man City and PSG, some big names there. Obviously, we just talked about Man City in the Prem. They're looking good.
As well as Bayern and Madrid, who have, at least for Bayern's case, looked very, very good, especially in the
right.
I think they're
going up against Olympiacos again, this time at home. So I'm definitely looking for them to handle business there, but you can never really count Olympiacos completely out. They have some dangerous attacks sometimes, for sure.
Yeah. If you've watched them play at all, they attack pretty well. And you look at the results in their league, and they score a lot of goals. So you're obviously you got to be on your toes. But Bayern, they're world class. I think that Bayern could really compete this year as far as winning this whole thing. I think they'll win their group pretty handedly, and obviously the group winners get a little bit easier of a draw coming out.
Yeah. I don't necessarily see them get to the final, but I could see them in that top 4 conversation for sure.
Yeah.
They've looked really good defensively in the mids. They just have a really tight formation that I think they really work well together. The chemistry's there.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of those guys have been there a while.
Yeah, and they just have a good team.
Yeah.
So I definitely expect them to get it done this week. I'm definitely going to be watching that because I'm a little bit of a Bayern fan.
And that's at 12:55.
That's a 12:55er, baby.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Kind of early in the day.
Yep.
Juventus
Get your
plays
lunch
at the same
with that,
time,
folks.
So if you're a Ronaldo guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Everybody's a Ronaldo guy. Let's be honest. He's beautiful.
Yeah, and an incredibly talented soccer player.
Yeah, he's just really good at soccer.
All
right. Anyways, that's enough soccer. We've got all the good stuff coming up. You know how it is. The Champs League, the Prem, it's all coming for you. Anyways, we're going to move on to our last topic of the day. We've got the NCAA basketball. We are extremely hyped. Our Boilers are ranked. We're, ready to pack in Mackey Arena.
Right.
And really root on the Boilers this year. Last year, I believe we were undefeated at home. We're trying to do the same thing this year. It's gonna be a fun season, I'm sure. And the Big Ten is it's got some really good talents, but it's also not like super deep as it is sometimes. I think.
In my mind, this is kind of a down year for college basketball. So I think this is definitely up for grabs as far as the Big Ten goes.
Mm-hmm. We've obviously got Michigan State up there. They've got a tough matchup this week. We could talk about that real quick. We got 2 big games Tuesday. I believe both of these are on. We've got Kansas Duke, Michigan State, Kentucky. Those are, the top of the top right now. And the
3 versus 4 and then 1 versus 2.
Right. Literally the top 4 teams right now.
Which they probably did on purpose, but that's a different story.
Yeah. The rankings, literally, they did that just for this, let's be honest.
No.
But anyways, we know these teams are going to be good either way. Obviously the chips will lie here and there. Maybe one of these teams isn't as good as we think. But right now, these are the big matchups. Every year, these teams bring it. And I think both of these games are going to be down to the wire exciting. Obviously, I just can't wait. And Purdue is at home for their first game, so that's also good to see.
We open up.
I'm excited for this week, Nick.
Open up on Wednesday against Green Bay. I think it's on BTN, so
tune in,
be
folks.
Able to watch that one. Yeah, should be an easy win for us. I looked it up. Green Bay went 21-17 last year. Actually had a pretty good year. The year before that. But yeah, like I said, they weren't good last year, so that should be an easy win at Mackey. And then obviously we'll talk about this more on Thursday's show, but we have a huge game this weekend at Mackey against Texas. Should be a sold-out crowd, just, a big-name school coming into Mackey Arena. Always exciting, so we'll definitely talk a little bit more about that, get a preview.
Right, so you think definitely take care of Green Bay, and then we've got Texas at home as well. So those matchups should be, considering Texas isn't where they were at one point, I think we should, definitely take care of business.
Right.
But we can't just assume that these are wins.
Right. They beat us. I think they beat us last year, actually.
Yeah.
And granted, we weren't that good early in the season last year.
Right. We really picked it up.
I think we all remember that
towards the end. But what I'm saying is, I really hope that we take it, right away at the level that we need to be.
So.
And I think Painter's one of those guys that normally does have their guys ready to go.
Yeah.
And obviously, third game of the season, we've got Marquette, and they're never a team to sleep on. And that's,
we have a really,
and that's in some sort of tournament, or not a tournament necessarily, but that's like a special game as well.
Yeah, probably at a neutral
Gavitt tip-off
court.
games. Right, so.
Most likely, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one to look at. I mean, we have a really hard, tough non-conference schedule this year.
Right. We got Virginia later on in December.
In the ACC Big Ten Challenge.
Butler in the Crossroads. Not too sure how good they're going to be, but once we get into Big Ten play here for Purdue, we've got Michigan State in January. The next week, we've got Maryland, who sits at number 7. The Big Ten definitely, like I said earlier, has some of the top talent out there, but I just don't know if it's going to go past like 4 teams.
I don't know
because Ohio State's ranked at 18, we're 23.
That's our.
So we've got some in the middle of the road here, but I don't know that it's necessarily as deep as we've seen it.
No, definitely not. Teams like Michigan and Minnesota and Wisconsin,
right,
who are usually at least in the conversation. They're not ranked any polls this year.
I still expect a few of those teams to compete in the Big Ten.
Oh, absolutely.
But I don't. As far as like getting the tournament bids and really making a deep impact in the tournament, there's really only going to be maybe like 2 Big Ten teams.
Yeah.
I think that make to the later stages, like Elite Eight-ish, Sweet 16, whatever you want to say. But either way, there's definitely some fun matchups, and we've got, Michigan State, Maryland back-to-back. That's going to be a couple tough games, and I can't wait to come out with at least one of those.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I just know we will.
I really don't know how big of a believer I am in Maryland right now.
When they're good, I feel like they always get overrated because they just have
7,
never.
I was like, really?
They have just never had more than the one guy, right? Because it seems like
is Melo Trimble back?
Right, exactly. Melo Trimble, and some of these other guys that have led their teams have really had to put it on their back, and I just think that teams like us and Purdue and Michigan State, Michigan, a lot of these teams that no matter what year it is, they've always got that team chemistry and just doing basketball the right way, if you will, and I would
it's
say just been a little bit more consistent. And I don't know if I'm really sold on Maryland being this top flight talent in the Big Ten.
We'll see though,
but we will definitely see because we got them in January.
Yeah, they clearly recruit really well. I just don't know if Turgeon is.
I think that they obviously have a lot of that East Coast pull, but
right. Yeah, they're huge on Under Armour. They always have really cool jerseys and stuff.
Right.
So I mean, I understand it, but again, I'm not sold on Turgeon. I guess more than I'm not sold on Maryland.
Yeah. But we will definitely see. That's going to be, the Big Ten. I think is still going to be exciting because there's always a sleeper team. If not 2. So we really got to
watch out for Wisconsin.
Start out hot.
I think last year they kind of said the same thing. They were going to be terrible. Mm-hmm. I think I saw a lot of projections them at 10th in the Big Ten.
Yeah, don't sleep on Rutgers, bro.
Go ahead and hit the snooze button on them, actually. Go ahead. Yeah, you're good. Roll back over.
Yeah,
you're fine on Rutgers.
But anyways, I think that's all we got as far as NCAA basketball. Is there any kind of wrap-up topics you got here?
I'm really looking forward to basketball. I think I said at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
It's my favorite time of year when football and basketball overlap. I'm going to be able to watch Purdue
Premier
football
League and Champions League too. We've got everything right now, and it's great talking it with you guys. We're appreciative of anybody listening to the episodes. Hit us up in the comments. Tell us what you like and what you don't like. If you want anything added to the show, we can bring it to you. We're men of the people.
Yeah, 100%. We'll spice things up here. We'll probably have a guest on soon again. So.
Oh yeah, we're gonna keep switching on guests. We'll keep you on your toes. We do appreciate you listening. I think we're gonna wrap it on up here. Yeah.
Have a good day, and we'll see you on Thursday.
See you Thursday.